Captain Lee of the Earth Fleet vessel. Indomitable was drowsing at his command station when the alert chimed. His eyes snapped open, pupils contracting against the harsh bridge lighting as his Deathworlder physiology kicked into immediate alertness. "Report," he ordered, voice clear despite having been nearly asleep moments before. Lieutenant Taylor, communications officer, straightened at her station. "Sir, we've intercepted a signal. It appears to be an SOS beacon, but—" She hesitated. "It's not. Human in origin." The bridge fell silent. Humanity had been traversing the stars for nearly 70 years, and while evidence of alien civilizations had been discovered, no living species had ever been encountered. The galaxy seemed full of ghosts, ruins, and artifacts, but never their creators. "Play it," Lee commanded. The sound that filled the bridge was haunting, a series of modulated pulses that rose and fell in an unmistakable pattern of distress, even if the specific language was unknown. "Location?" Navigation Officer Wilson responded immediately. "The Vega sector, sir. Near the outer rim of what we've designated as the Dead Zone." Lee's jaw tightened. The Dead Zone was aptly named, a region spanning dozens of star systems where every habitable planet discovered contained the remnants of a civilization that had mysteriously perished. Different species, different technology levels, all extinct. The leading theory was some sort of cascading interstellar catastrophe, perhaps a weaponized virus or nanomachine swarm gone rogue. "How old is this signal?" Lee asked. "That's the thing, sir," Taylor replied. "Based on degradation patterns, it's being transmitted right now." Lee stood, his tall frame casting a shadow across the command deck. Humans were classified as Deathworlders for a reason. Earth's high gravity, atmospheric composition, and the evolutionary crucible of predators and extreme environments had forged humanity into something uniquely resilient among the theoretical spectrum of sapient life. "Alert Admiral Patel. We're changing course." 3 days later, the Indomitable led a small task force of 5 vessels toward the source of the mysterious signal. As they approached, sensors detected a small vessel adrift in the void between stars. "Life signs?" Lee asked. Science Officer Reed shook her head. "Nothing we recognize as life, sir, but there's definitely power running through that vessel. And something else. Energy patterns unlike anything in our databases." "First contact protocols," Lee ordered. "Prepare boarding teams with full quarantine measures." Hours later, Lee watched through the video feed as the boarding team, led by Commander Blake, cut through the alien vessel's airlock. The interior revealed was simultaneously familiar and strange. Corridors and chambers arranged in ways that suggested beings not entirely unlike humans in size and locomotion, but with subtle differences that spoke of a fundamentally alien perspective. "Captain," Blake's voice came through, "you're going to want to see this." The camera panned to reveal a chamber filled with transparent cylindrical pods. Inside each, suspended in a luminescent fluid, floated figures that defied easy description, vaguely humanoid, but with iridescent skin bearing patterns that seemed to shift and flow, and limbs that branched into delicate manipulators. "Are they alive?" Lee asked. "They appear to be in some form of stasis," replied Blake. "The pods are maintaining minimal functions. Sir, I think this is a lifeboat, a desperate attempt to preserve their species." Analysis of the ship's systems revealed the truth. The aliens, who called themselves the Lumina according to translated data, were the last survivors of a civilization that had been systematically hunted to extinction by an automated cleansing protocol left behind by a long-dead precursor race. The protocol, designed to eliminate genetic impurities, had identified the Lumina as threats and had methodically destroyed their worlds. The remaining Lumina, desperate and out of options, had placed themselves in stasis and launched their vessel toward the one sector of space where their sensors had detected activity that didn't match the cleansing protocol's patterns: human space. They had gambled everything on the hope that whatever new species was expanding from the direction of Sol might help them. Admiral Patel's face was grim on the view screen when Lee made his report. "So they came to us because we're Deathworlders," she said. Because we evolved on a planet harsh enough to make us strong in ways these cleansers never anticipated. Yes, Admiral, Lee confirmed. The Lumina data indicates that the cleansing protocol targets specific biological markers common to species that evolved in certain stellar conditions. Earth falls outside those parameters. And these cleansers, they're still active, still hunting? According to the Lumina data, yes. The protocol is self-replicating and has consumed multiple civilizations over thousands of years. Patel was silent for a long moment. The Security Council will need to deliberate, but I think we all know what humanity's response will be. No sentient species asks for help and finds us wanting. 2 months later, the Lumina survivors awakened to find themselves not in the void of space, but in a specially constructed habitat on Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Earth scientists had carefully analyzed their biology and created an environment where they could survive while remaining safely quarantined. Through translation devices, the Lumina told their full story and shared everything they knew about the cleansers. Meanwhile, humanity prepared. Ships were retrofitted with new defenses based on Lumina technology. Weapons were designed specifically to target the cleansers' known weaknesses. For the first time in its history, the United Earth Fleet mobilized for war against an enemy that had never targeted humans, but had made the mistake of threatening a species under human protection. Captain Lee stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, now the flagship of Battle Group Sentinel, as 30 warships prepared to jump toward the nearest known cleansing node. The Lumina didn't understand what they were doing when they sent that signal to us, he told his crew. They didn't realize they were calling to Deathworlders, to a species that evolved fighting against extinction every step of the way. He gazed at the tactical display, showing the battle group's planned incursion into cleansing territory. They thought they were sending a desperate plea into the darkness, Lee continued. What they actually did was awaken the most dangerous protective instinct in the galaxy: humanity's refusal to stand by while the innocent suffer. The fleet jumped, stars streaking past as they raced toward an enemy that had never encountered humans before, and would soon learn why species from Deathworlds were the ones you should never provoke.